Hey everybody, Doug from Eminent Performance. You can see behind me the backdrop is a little different than normal, and that's because we are here at Spangs Fab. We recorded an entire podcast. Audio anyways. The camera had different ideas and decided to record absolutely none of it. So you get a little bit of me. You can tell I've got a nice sheen going on because it's a little warm in here, and we didn't have the heart to record a whole nother podcast for you. So in lieu of that, we'll give you a little bit of video as we kind of walk around the shop here, get you an idea of what the shop looks like, and then we're going to throw in some racing footage, probably from the Heartland Challenge with Kevin driving, so at least there's something to watch. Maybe it's a blessing you don't have to see our ugly mugs. But anyways, that's what's going on. Hope you enjoy the podcast.
Tired of screwing up, tired of going down, tired of myself, tired of this town.
Eminent Waste of Time, episode 48. I'm Doug.
And I'm Chad.
I'm Kevin.
Hey, there you go. Look at you. You're an old pro already.
Yep.
So you may have noticed we have a slightly different background than normal. That's because we are here at Spangs Fab, and we've got one of the new Razor Turbo S's behind us. That's getting a new cage treatment. We've got a lot of great show sponsors, and really we just wanted to take a chance to come out here and talk to some of them. So we're here at Spangs Fab. We're going to be doing another podcast from CW Motorsports, and who knows where we'll go from there, but just a chance to kind of give back and let you guys know what our sponsors are up to. And honestly, I figure after 47 episodes, most people are probably tired of listening to Chad and I talk all the time anyways.
I'm sure they're more than tired of it. There's 2 episodes in, and they were done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're ready for a better background than the kitchen. And
My kitchen?
I think
Probably.
I think your son got to be in, I think it was episode 46. He's back there opening the fridge.
He was going for food. He's giant, and he's a teenager, and he eats a lot.
he's a growing boy.
I hope he doesn't grow anymore. He's 6'5" already. I mean, if he keeps growing, they don't make clothes big enough for that anymore.
His cage chop, part of the consideration was, will my kid fit in this after I do it?
Yeah. That
Sure, Cody could get you a custom cage chop on there.
Probably so.
Yeah. Maybe have to put like a bubble roof where his head will fit.
Or that.
So I know we're in Illinois, way out in the middle of nowhere, but that's about it. I have no cell service. It seems like exactly the kind of place you build stuff for UTVs.
Yeah, it's the ideal spot here between a couple of cornfields and small town.
There you go.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all.
So tell us about this Turbo S behind us. What's your initial impressions? I mean, the cage is probably going to be pretty similar to some other Razor ones you've built, but you've actually gotten to drive this thing.
Yeah, I haven't drove this specific machine yet. It's got a stage 2 tune on it from Hardcore Tune and stuff, and the one that I have drove was just a straight off the showroom floor and stuff, and it gets up and going in a hurry. So
a little bit different than the normal turbo, though, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't get to run it too hard or anything. We were just playing around, seeing how fast we could go.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of turning involved, but
the brand new ones that aren't yours are the best ones to push hard, though.
Yeah, I don't know if the owner would like that too much if I pushed a little too much.
Okay, that's a fair assessment.
So why don't you give us a quick rundown of kind of what you do here? I mean, what are some of the things you specialize in? You know, what do you have the capabilities to do? Give us a quick rundown.
One of the biggest thing that we've done since the beginning is custom cages and bumpers for guys. They'll mostly trail riders and stuff. They're just looking for a stronger, safer cage and stuff with their own style of look. A lot of guys will bring in anywhere from like a dozen pictures of what they like and stuff. They'll be, I like the B pillar on this one, but I like how this A pillar is on here, how this ties into that bumper or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you got a couple of guys that are just, this is what I'm looking for. Like, give me into kind of a rundown of what they like, and then we'll build it front to back, from bumper to bumper pretty much on what they want to do. We started getting a little bit more into production type stuff with rock sliders, A-arms, and cages similar to the one that we're building on the S right now.
Yep.
And then pretty much anything custom almost with it that involved tubing, and we're getting more and more into plate work and stuff for different plate style bumpers and stuff. So
Well, I'm running your, as you know, but we'll make sure everybody else knows, your high arched A arms on the front and your rear heavy duty radius rods that you make. And man, those things are astounding. I love those. I was genuinely concerned about bending the factory stuff up when I got it because it's thin. The factory tubes are just thin. I have zero concern about it now. And I may or may not have already knocked some powder coating off of them.
Yeah, I've been running mine for 2 years now on my race machine. They're still straight as can be and stuff. And then Steve Mueller and Jason Hatcher are running them also, and haven't had any issues with them.
Yeah.
So,
As long as Hatcher keeps it out of the trees.
yeah.
He maybe met a tree
Maybe.
in Heartland. Yeah.
But I think he
maybe.
tore tabs off the frame. I think the A-arms
Yeah.
are probably still fine.
Yeah. So, well, that's neat. So you guys do full race builds also, right? Full cages, bumpers. Like if you want soup to nuts, reinforced frame and everything, it's something you guys do.
Yeah, we're not, like, we get into it. We haven't gone super deep into it like a couple other shops.
Yeah.
But we do go in there and do some reinforcement and stuff for people that wanted and stuff.
Yeah.
And then mostly if you've seen Steve Mueller's race buggy, that's pretty much what we've been doing and stuff, ones like that.
And that is one of the better looking buggies that I've ever seen for full. It's not a full exo cage, but as far as integrated bumpers to cage and everything, it looks just perfect. I mean, it's a good amount of protection on it. If you were to roll it, it's not going to crush the hood and cave it all in and everything. But man, it looks great. Just the style on it was perfect. So I love that look.
Yeah, it turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
He's definitely happy with it, and fortunately has not had a chance to test the tensile strength yet.
I don't know. We put it on its side.
That's true, you did.
Yeah.
That was kind of a lazy razor nap, though. That wasn't like a Mike Plank roll down the hill or anything.
Well, we kind of laid on its side, and then it started sliding back, and we wedged up against a tree. So we tested the side and the rear bumpers all at the same time.
There you go. No, and I think the most impressive part is you may notice the subtle whirring of a fan in the background. He does this all in the heat,
Yep.
as
Yeah.
it was meant to be.
No AC, we have a window unit over there, but as you can tell, it's taken apart.
Yeah, looks like it's not happy right now. But
No.
That's how it is. Most shops don't have AC. It just is what it is. You get used to it.
Yeah. Until the heat gets up there too much, then we'll usually work later at night or get here earlier in the morning or
Yeah.
something.
there's always
Take
a
the
way
middle of
around
the
it.
day off.
So how'd you find yourself doing this in the first place? I know that this isn't your primary job. I mean, in terms of, you've got other things going. We tried to get this interview in, as a matter of fact, because you've got some construction work coming up that you're going to be doing in a few weeks, and your schedule gets really busy. But obviously, you spend a fair amount of time out here.
Yeah. Technically, I started in 2007, really, working more on, had a project truck, and then I just started buying different tools and everything that I needed from vendors, welders, and stuff like that. And then 2009, I started getting into the UTV stuff with my own Kawasaki Terex, and then saw some of the West Coast video stuff, and I was like, I gotta get one of those. Lord and behold, about 6 months to a year later, I went out, bought a brand new Kawasaki Terex, and then the very next week I took it out with the Mid-America Off-Road Race Association, who does like a short course, more of a beginner level type stuff, not like the Lucas Oil short course stuff, but
Yeah.
went out there and raced that. Three of us showed up to it and had a guy with a snowmobile powered,
Was it an Apex motored?
no, that's Jason Hawk. We ended up racing him later.
Okay.
And he just blew us away.
Yeah. there's some power to be made in those motors.
Just a little
man.
bit, yeah.
This one was more like a homemade buggy. I don't know exactly what the classes or whatever for it. And then we had another guy out there with a Rhino who had a little bit of work done to it and stuff, and went out there first couple heats and stuff, racing with them, and then ended up winning the day for the main and stuff, and just kept doing it all that year with them, and then moved on to the truck racing series out at the Badlands when they were doing that, and that was a real fun series. I wish they'd bring that back, because you didn't just have UTVs out there. You had Jeeps out there, from stock Jeeps to modified Jeeps and stuff, to run like desert style type stuff, plus the big Ultra 4 trucks that you had with the King of the Hammers and stuff. They were all out there, all on the course at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That'd be a hoot.
Oh,
yeah,
it
no
was.
kidding.
Yeah.
They always take away the good stuff.
So was the short course racing kind of your first entry into racing, or had you done some when you were younger?
That's the first time I ever did any motorized sports and stuff. And then, we grew up in Alaska. We never had our own snowmobiles and stuff, and we were always the guinea pigs on the sleds or couches or whatever we decided to put
Whatever you're dragging behind it. Yep.
And we lived out on a lake, so we could zip around that. And we had the lake pretty much to ourselves for the most part, and during the winters, and we'd be out there terrorizing anyone else who was out there on our friend's dad's snowmobile and stuff. And
Yeah.
so
Sounds like fun. So once you got into the motorsports, though, it sounds like you were pretty hooked.
yeah, pretty much right off the get go. I met a couple other guys that they weren't racing the side by side stuff, but they go out to the Badlands all the time, and we're sitting there talking about it and stuff. And then he's like, "Man, you got pretty much everything it is here to make your own little shop." And I've always wanted to go towards doing kind of a shop and stuff anyways. And then, so into 2010, I went out, got my business license and all that jazz, taxes and stuff. And,
Yes, the best part of owning any business.
yeah, that, started doing that I told everyone, I was like, yeah, I'm open for business. And nobody came to me for anything. I was like, are you serious?
You had people asking you before that, and then all of a sudden you take the
But
jump and
I
you
was
start
like,
putting
all right,
money out.
Here we go.
Yeah.
We're
We were
going to
just-
get everything legit. And
We were just trying to be nice. Yeah.
yeah. And so like nobody did stuff. I talked to a couple of guys at work, did some Jeep bumpers for guys and some other stuff like that. And I was like, man, what the heck's going on here? I need to figure out where to get more people and stuff. And then found the RZR of Illinois Facebook group and stuff, and then started talking with like Steve Mueller and Josh Durbin and a couple other guys on there. And this is, I want to say there was less than 500 people on there at the time, and just chatting with them and stuff. And then Steve messaged me one day. He goes, I heard you fabricate and stuff. I'm looking at doing my 900 XP up and stuff, his trailer rig at the time. And we went back and forth, and he ended up dropping it off. And I did his, it wasn't my first UTV build, but it was one of the first to the start, I guess, more so.
Yeah.
And then did his, and then Josh Durbin brought his in and stuff. And then a couple other people started coming in. And about every year, we've been doubling the number of machines that we get in here and stuff. So
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
You're going to outgrow your pole barn soon enough if
Yeah,
that
no
keeps up.
kidding.
yeah, we're already looking at another bigger building and stuff. So
That's a good problem to have.
but yeah, it definitely is.
Next question, are you hiring? No.
We have a couple people that come in off and on to help weld and stuff.
Oh, nice.
When I'll do all the tube bending and stuff, get everything ready, and then I got a couple buddies who can come in and weld and do all that for me. So
I think a lot of people don't really appreciate how much effort goes into a cage. They know they're expensive, and then they know that, you know, material cost wise, there's not a ton of material cost, but there's a bunch of labor for, like this cage behind us is a fairly basic one. I don't think this one's going to end up tying into bumpers and stuff.
no,
Is it?
We got a few more support bars and stuff to add in there, and it's just tacked up right now.
But even a basic cage like that, I mean, completely welded, ready to go. How many hours you figure you have in on something like that?
Anywhere between 15 to 20-ish, just depending on just the cage and stuff. And then with the tools that I have and stuff, I mean, I have more basic benders and stuff versus some of the high dollar shops who have
you mean you don't have like the
stuff,
you know $30,000-$40,000
Mandrel computer control.
Yeah.
Make these bends for me. I'll be back.
Yeah. Computer, spit out my
Well, here
cage
you go.
tubes.
Punch it in the computer real quick. 10
Yeah.
seconds later, it's sitting there. You're like, man, that takes me 15 minutes just to do that one bend or
Yeah.
whatever.
And then that just goes up. You know, you want bumper tie-ins or a full exo cage, or you're doing a 4-seat buggy or something like that. I mean, the
Yeah.
time just it gets eat up quickly when you start putting more tube at it.
Yeah, the 4-seater cages definitely take me longer and stuff, and then adding bumpers in there and stuff. I mean, it can eat up some time pretty quick.
Oh yeah,
So.
and the more ornate you get with it, the more time it takes. I get it.
And not to mention just the skill of welding. I mean, a lot of people, you know, they can arc weld something together. Maybe they can make it look decent. But TIG welding is an art form, and it takes time to develop. And
Yeah.
it's either a skill you have or you don't. And
Yeah,
You know, so that's part of what you're getting out of this is just a really well built, TIG welded cage.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an interesting process for sure. I mean, we're talking about building one for your buggy and kind of venturing into that. And I know our first cage is gonna take us a while.
Well, I've done other cages. It's not that this is my first cage. But, yeah. It just takes time, and especially because I don't do it all the time, it's not as second nature to me. You know, you do a few of them in a row and you get quicker at it, but
you get your piece of pipe, you make all your marks, you bend it wrong, you put it to the side, you go get another piece of pipe. No,
or you can take the spiritual whack job idea of it, and okay, you get your piece of pipe and you hold it and you ask it what it wants to be made into.
Why does everything I touch want to be a piece of junk? That's what I want to know.
You need to find a new shop to buy your tubing at. That has more inspiration.
This piece of tubing has a bad aura about it.
This one's begging for the scrap pile.
Yes, this one is junk. So, have you ever had one of your cages really, shall we say, tested in a race? Has anyone really had the opportunity to mangle one that you've gotten to see? Well, that held up pretty well, or maybe I should change that.
I know Josh Durbin has tested them thoroughly on his first 900 XP and stuff. He rolled that one quite a few times and multiple times in a day and stuff, out playing around and stuff. And Josh isn't the easiest person on the machine.
It happens.
Yeah, we've had a couple of people roll him over. I mean, Hatcher's rolled his over. That's on his current machine like 4 times, I think, last year in the Heartland Challenge.
Oh, geez.
It held up fine. And
just
stuff.
Kept standing it back up. Go, go, go.
Pretty much.
That seems about right for him.
He should paint his green and call it the turtle. Can somebody give me a flip?
Yeah. Oh. So, yep, you do the race thing. What series are you running right now?
Right now, we're running the IXCR series. Haven't got a chance to do anything else outside of the Heartland Challenge this year.
Yeah.
We are going September, I think it's 15th, is the Midwest Side-by-Side Series.
Yep.
Where we're sponsoring that race at Casey, Illinois.
Yep.
And so we'll be out there for that.
Is it the same park it was at, about 2 months ago or something like that?
Yeah, it'll be the same location and stuff. So.
Yep, that was a neat place. So yeah, if you guys want to go out and check that out, it's a neat track. They have a little bit of motocross section kind of style to it, and then some woods. I mean, I'm sure they'll change the course up a little bit, but it was a neat place. It's definitely a neat place.
Yeah, hopefully. I know Cody likes motocross stuff, and Josh does too. So they'll definitely keep that in there, and they like throwing in a little bit different than what the other series can do and stuff. So.
Well, and I liked your race build this year. You kept it pretty simple. I mean, you've got your tree kickers on there, and you've got your arched A-arms, and I mean, you put some of your equipment on there to beef it up, your own cage, but you haven't gone with power adders and aftermarket clutches. And I mean, your goal, we were talking about this, was really just I want to keep the machine together. And
I like the simple and reliable type aspect of it.
That's what gets you through a season, though.
Yeah. There's a few people I follow and stuff and buddies with that go to the races and stuff, but it seems like they're always messing with belts and clutches and stuff. And I'm like, I don't have time for all that. And I'll just keep it simple and run it. Most likely for next year, I'm going to start adventuring more into that, I think, but
you're going to throw a tune on it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not go too wild, but Yeah,
well, I'll start out with probably just some clutching and stuff and then end up throwing a tune on it or something eventually and whatnot and go from there. So
we've kind of talked about it before. I mean, yours is a turbo machine, but more than the stock amount of horsepower they come with in woods racing and XC racing, I just don't see that there's a huge amount of benefit to being 200 plus horsepower. I mean, where are you going to use it other than breaking parts?
No, you get a couple spots where you have a nice straightaway and stuff. And you can use it, but I think more of clutching with getting more better acceleration and stuff is where the key is, I think, just so where you can get out of the corner faster and get to the next one quicker and stuff. And then
maybe you lose just a tiny bit on the top end, but really being able to get out of corners hard and is more where it's at.
Challenge is the only time we ever even came close to topping it out, and even then we weren't full blown going down the straightaway and stuff. I know like Devin Smith said he was hitting 80, 85 somewhere in there, and you can see in some of the videos I post we're out about 65 or so, and then that's about the only time I've ever hit 65, unless I'm playing around at home going through the country roads or something on there.
Sure.
But usually you're maybe 45 tops, I think.
Yeah, most races are down in like I would say 20 to 45 or maybe 50. So you're not really giving much up out there on that.
Yeah, not for the top end at least. So,
Well, and you had the unlikely break. I mean, the powertrain held together. You didn't snap any axle shafts. You lost a bolt. I mean, just a really freakish type of thing there. So, in theory, the concept has actually proved itself out that the machine held together for a 4-hour race, but for a bolt that probably had a hairline fracture that was undetectable.
Yeah. I haven't messed with that bolt for 2 years now, so I mean, it's just coming sooner or later. And I just ordered today, all new tie rod spacers and bolts and stuff. I'm just going to replace both of them since the other one broke, and keep that one as a spare for the one that didn't break.
True.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I like that idea of it's a long season. I think you can mess around enough to take yourself out of a season, I guess is what I'm getting at.
You can. And I've even seen it on my own, just a little bit of modding that I've done already. And I'm not a clutch guy per se, and the Polaris is a whole new style of clutch than what I'm used to. I don't have it figured out yet. And I ended up, when I did my last clutch modification, I lost top end, and I feel like I lost some on the bottom end, and I just haven't gotten back in there to do anything with it yet. So you may have the right idea of just keep it simple. So leave it alone.
Jeremy Clarkson, I've made it worse.
Yeah, I made it worse. I mean, I'm putting down more power, so, it's fine, but I don't use that power.
Yeah, like I ordered a Bikeman Performance clutch kit a while ago, and it's still sitting brand new in box, just sitting there on the shelf still, and I'm just like,
that's what I got in mind.
Should I put that in, or should I not put it in? I'm almost done with the season. Should I even mess with it?
Leave it alone. That's what I have.
I was like, I could just continue running it.
There's 4 races left in the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope. I'd leave it.
Yeah, I'd leave it alone too.
That's pretty much where I'm at, and then I'm debating on next year what I want to do and stuff, and then I've been debating on I want to get into the short course stuff and do like the Lucas Oil short course thing, but then to do that, I don't think I'm ready because since I have a turbo machine, it would go straight into the pro mod class.
Yeah,
where I'm like, I don't think I'm that level yet. So
that's what we were actually talking about it on the way over here, and I read through all the rules this last week, and there's no way I could compete, at least initially. I mean, it'd take me probably a little bit of time to get up to their speed, but there's no way I could compete at their pro mod level. There's just no way. Yeah. I'd need to come in at like the sportsman level, and I'm in the same boat as you. I'm a turbo machine. I can't take mine and compete at the sportsman level.
Yeah.
So darn it, honey, I need another machine.
Yeah.
I was talking with Kyle Chaney out at Heartland more about the short course stuff, and then he's like, well, get you an entry-level machine, start off in the sportsman class, and you can easily, after a race weekend or something, you feel I could easily jump in there looking at times or something to go move up to that pro stock class and then jump up to the pro stock class, but you'd have to have either a YXZ or a Polaris 1000 XP or something like that without a turbo on it to get in there. So that comes into either trading my machine in or selling it, buying another one that's already ready for race ready and stuff. So
yeah.
See, hopefully someone will be selling some machines here at the end of the year, and we'll see.
I was looking at the YXZs.
They seem to dominate out there.
They seem to do really well out there, especially like in the sportsman class and stuff like that. And there's a lot of them. It's the exact opposite of all other forms of racing in the area. All other forms of racing, really, it's the X3s and the Razors that seem to dominate most places in especially cross-country racing styles. Out there, man, YXZs are just it.
YXZ for short course racing, at least for the production stuff, even in the pro mod stuff, they do excellent and stuff. And then, but you can, when there's 33-ish cars or so, I believe that they've been having turn out for there, and at least 25 of them are all YXZ.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for it too, even out west and stuff, they're YXZ dominant on there and stuff.
Yeah. And when they get up to the pro mods class, then they're putting the turbo kits on them, and they are more than holding their own against the other factory turboed machines out there. I mean, they're just well built and well suited for the short course style of racing.
And I think not having the CVT is probably the biggest common denominator between them and the rest of the field out there. Because even in the pro mods where you've got full-blown X3s, I mean, Kyle Chaney runs out there.
Yeah.
And he's got his Rip Snorton X3 that in the woods is just an absolute beast. And out there, he's hanging on for dear life against these turbocharged YXZs.
Yeah.
And it just seems to be that the direct transmission where you don't have any loss, you don't have any, lag, it just, what gear you're in and you hit it hard seems to be the formula for success there. Because even when you see like a Razor out front,
Yeah.
within a lap or so, the YXZs have reeled it in and surpassed it. And even the RS1s that are running out there in the like the stock classes, the sportsman stock and the pro stock, they're decent, but they're middle of the pack. You never really see one challenging for the front.
Yeah.
And you can make an argument that it's just drivers, but the best drivers out there are choosing the YXZs.
It's true. I've kind of noticed, and not taking anything from Kyle Chaney, he's in the X3. He's a great driver, but for him to keep up with the turboed YXZs, he's got that thing on the ragged edge, and it's just looks, it's dancing all over. I'm not saying it's out of control, but he is pushing it for all it has. And the YXZs just look composed in the corners and everything else. They seem to, like I said, just be built for it.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting... There's just a different machine that's right for every style of riding. I mean, you bought your Razor for a very specific thing.
Yep.
And yeah, it is just... I guess that kind of goes back to there's no right answer for the right machine. It's, well, what do you do?
Yeah.
Then buy that machine for it.
Or which one you feel more comfortable in and
Right.
stuff. And then,
Or just buy one of everything because you're going to do it all anyways.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that. One of every.
Yeah. If I win the lottery, I've already told Doug I'm buying like 4 of everything, like the YXZ, the X3, and Polaris Razors. And I got enough land where I just make my own short course out there, and all my friends just come over and we'll all just
We'll
race
just have
the
you
X3s.
over. Just come on
and
over,
we'll
man.
race
Let's go
all the
run.
YXZs. And we'll
If
just,
you blow it up in a tree, it's his machine anyways.
I don't care. I wouldn't care.
Hopefully you got a big lottery win then.
I'm all for it.
We're going to tear some stuff up.
I'm all for it.
Yes, we will.
Yep. No, that would be a hoot. But
I don't know what happened to all my millions. It was gone in a year.
they're all gone.
I've always said, the people that win the lottery, how could they blow through $18 million in 1 year and be broke? I totally get it now.
Yeah. Yeah, it could happen. No, I guess you got to play the lottery to win it, though. So that's the one reason I haven't won so far. I never play.
Or maybe through the vast popularity that this podcast represents, you'll just get so many orders and, you'll be the rich one.
Yeah.
You'll have won the lottery.
But you guys can all come over here.
Yeah, that'll work. I'm down with that.
I have no problem.
It's actually
making
a
that
shorter drive than I thought. I'm like, I could go bug him more often.
Yeah.
Maybe not daily. Maybe every other day.
Well, come over too often. We'll put you to work. And
I'm okay with that too.
Have you seen his welding?
Come on,
I'm
now.
teasing.
there's a broom over here we could use. Someone needs to sweep the floor.
Back to my
every once in a while.
high school counselor. Man, that shovel looks like it'd fit your hands really well.
No, actually, Doug's not a bad welder. He just really kind of picked it up here this year.
Yeah.
I kind of showed him just on a MIG. Here's what you do. It's a hot glue gun with metal. I mean, that's kind of what you got.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at repeatable mechanical tasks like that. Like, I may not know how to do it, but if you show me and I get a little bit of practice, I don't want to say I'm, one of these guys that, man, look at that TIG weld. It's just like stacked dimes, But
Menial labor. That's you.
exactly. No, I can pick up most stuff like that pretty darn quick and do it pretty well. I've always had a knack for that stuff. It's just,
Yeah.
I've never had a chance to put it to use where, I need to weld a bunch of stuff. Usually it was, I need this one thing welded. Here, Chad, do this.
Yeah.
But now we're kind of getting more into that range, and maybe we're hinting at some things that are coming up in 2019 for EP. It's going to be a busy year.
Yeah. There's stuff.
We've got a lot of stuff in store. We're going to start teasing now. But we've got a lot of good ideas and even more terrible ones, but they're going to be hilarious.
Oh, yeah. We'll tell Kevin about the one off the air.
So
we're not
remind
going to
us.
tell you about that
Yes.
yet.
All right.
Because it's going to be an absolute freaking
If anybody
hoot.
needs it inside, just start messaging me and
You'll
we'll
take it for the highest bidder. Is that what you're saying?
Make some money off of it if you're going to spill the secret.
Yeah.
That's all I can tell you.
$5 per message.
This is starting to sound like a whole different kind of line that I don't want to be in.
I don't want a part of that.
Razor chat.
No, we don't want that.
So we've got this buggy in here now, and anything else kind of on the horizon for you in terms of builds? I mean,
I have a 4-seater sitting at my house.
Okay.
We did one of the Kawasaki Terex for him a while back or last year, and he ended up tweaking the frame, and the insurance totaled it out, and so this time he went with a Polaris Turbo 4-seater, and he's coming back to us for a build to get done on it with front to back, bumpers, cage, rock sliders, A-arms, and doing pretty much everything just about through us. So,
well, that'll be nice. That'll make it pretty well bulletproof. I mean, you can still rip parts off if you hit the trees hard enough, but it should strengthen it quite a bit.
Yeah, for what he's doing, it'll. I don't think he'll have a single problem with it unless he tips it over at Moab or something when he goes out of there again or something.
Yeah,
goes rolling down or something.
Have you ever been out to Moab?
No, not yet. I keep telling myself for the past couple of years, I need to go during like Rally on the Rocks or something like that, and go out there. I just haven't made it out there yet.
I've been by it. I saw a sign, Moab that way. And I kept going the other way, but I didn't have anything with me to ride anyways.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's one of my places I'd like to go. I've said it before. That and is it St. Anthony's out in Idaho?
St. Anthony's out in Idaho, which for those of you not familiar, picture something on the order of 16,000 acres worth of sand dunes.
Yeah.
Nowhere near the ocean for some reason.
Just this giant pile of sand right in the middle. Like these big dunes.
Like if you're on our side, east of Yellowstone and you're heading to Yellowstone, you don't have to go much farther. It's probably only...
It's on the backside of Yellowstone, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there.
St. Anthony's is only, I think it's like an hour away from one of the Yellowstone entrances on the far west side.
Yeah.
That's like down in southern Colorado. Yeah, Colorado. They got the sand dunes there. You can't drive out on them. You can take some four-wheeler trails and stuff, and once you get close enough to them, it's pretty much sand all the way there, but you're still in the trees and stuff, and you get a little taste of it. Nothing compared to real sand dunes.
Yeah.
So what we need to do
is hit that lottery.
Hit that lottery. And then I guess we wouldn't have to rent a car hauler at that point. We could just...
I'm getting a toter home, and we'll just load them up, and we'll all go.
So we'll go out southerly and kind of get out to Moab, and then kind of take a turn up north and go through St. Anthony's, and then we'll just kind of keep going right on up to Alaska, because I'm sure there's places to ride up there. Rumor has it the state's
reasonably big.
20 or 30,000 acres, I think, if I'm remembering right, up there.
They got a couple acres.
Couple acres out there.
Couple acres.
And then
nice parking lot I can do a donut in, right?
And then I'm sure there's some spots to ride in Canada. I think they're the second largest nation on the planet in terms of land mass, and yet there's only like 60 million people up there.
Yeah, it's not a lot of people.
Bears.
Lots of bears.
Lots of bears, but obviously lots of places to ride. So we come back across Canada, and then we'll probably just come back down through Wisconsin, because honestly, I really don't have a huge desire to go out to New York.
No.
Like the East Coast states.
No, not so much.
Not for that kind of trip anyways. All right, so who's playing first? We got to do a lottery hit here or something.
I'll start playing.
Or if you really want to fund this adventure, I promise we'll do a really neat video about it. If anybody out there just has money they want to send to EP, get a hold of us. I can send you our PayPal address. If you want to fund this trip, I promise we will thoroughly enjoy it.
If you're an old rich person who can't do this stuff and you want to live vicariously through us, I'll do that.
What better way to do that? Seriously.
I'm sure, Kevin, you'd be willing to do that as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, yeah.
Twist your arm, right?
Yeah.
Good enough.
Okay, we've got a plan. We just need the rich old person now.
Yeah.
Or you can wait for those emails to come in from
that Nigerian prince.
African king prince or whatever.
Yep.
And
man, he hit me up.
Maybe you need to respond to those.
That poor guy, all he wants to do is help somebody out and give away these millions of dollars, and nobody's taking him up on it.
It's so sad.
It is.
He's got all those rooms of money, and he can't even give them away.
Actually, somebody sent me a message the other day that said, that Nigerian prince really did want to give away all this money. It was some big seizure somewhere, of cash, and it was like a pallet.
Yeah.
Just full of cash. I'm assuming from a drug lord somewhere in South America, but I had to chuckle when I saw that.
Yep. I saw the same thing. He was just trying to give all that money away.
So I'm curious, you've got your own race buggy. You see a lot of them out there. I'm curious where you stand on the whole tire size debate, because a lot of guys, including Devin Smith, he took third place at, Heartland on the front row. So obviously he's got some racing chops. Still running the little 27s on his 200 horsepower buggy. But I think you're running 29s on yours, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm running 29s right now.
Steve's still running 29s.
Yeah.
So I know some of the buggies now are kind of, maybe we've got enough horsepower. To me, it seems kind of like a holdover from the lack of horsepower era.
Yeah, I was actually going to try 27s this year. That's kind of why I got the clutch kit and everything. And I ordered tires. I have 27 sitting there, and then I got 0 offsets and everything. But with the turbos, when I went to go put the zeros on there, this is also going with just leave it alone type thing. To get the Kaiser wheels on there, right, you'd have to grind down the brake caliper, the outer piece, or get like
The little
half-inch
fins.
spacer or something on there. And
Okay, yeah.
I just decided, let's just leave it alone, and we'll just run the 29 still for this year, and maybe over the winter I'll mess with it or something, unless I decide to get rid of it for now. Or
Any particular reason? Thought maybe get a little more punch out of the corners, or less sidewall roll, or
more of less sidewall, I guess, and then and see what the whole 27-inch tire debate is all about, I guess, and try it myself.
I like to get different people's takes on it because everybody's got an opinion. And again, I don't know that there's a right answer. It just depends on where you drive and how you drive. And I mean, if you're in the mud a lot, I wouldn't go smaller.
No, I wouldn't either. Like we said, 29s are great for if you get deep ruts. They just hold the belly out a little bit more. You know, it gets you a little bit more ground clearance where it'll get down in the bottom of those ruts and scoot you on through.
And that was Heartland. I mean, after 4 hours. Did you even have to steer the last hour, or could you just kind of
No, we kind of just let it go for most of the sections that were getting rutted up and stuff, and until the bolt decided to let us down. But but
where did you end up finishing in Heartland? Because I don't think we touched on that too much.
We ended up in 12th still, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's really not bad. I mean,
No.
for braking, because you broke, what, 20 minutes?
20 minutes.
yeah, about 20 minutes, and we were on our 13th lap, but we were like 3/4 of the way through it already. And so we were trying to salvage at least that lap, and then
Where were you sitting at the time?
Like
Not
on the
8th,
track.
7th? Where were you before you broke?
we were still 12th. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were watching it. We were, I want to say, like 15th for a while, and then leading up to that, we for a couple laps, we were 15th, and then next lap 14th, and then 13th, and 12th, and then 12th, and then 12th. And then
12th.
So like we were, I think us through 8th place were all on the same lap, and then so, I mean, I don't know how much further ahead they were or whatever, but I think Jason DeHart was 8th, I think, in that.
Okay.
Because we were talking about, because he had a couple issues and stuff also, and but everyone right in there, we were all still on the same lap pretty much, and then. So.
Yeah, and at that point, everyone kind of just settled into running a pace. There wasn't much more to push, really.
No,
I think it's probably just zombie mode. You're just like, I just need to make another lap. You're not.
more so it was just the difference between running a normal IXCR race or cross country race where you're in the light, and then going to where you're running at night with the headlights and stuff, and you get people that they're still a ways behind you, but you think they're right on you because they got a big bright light bar and stuff, and then you're like, I kept asking my co-driver, I'm like, how close is he? He looked back. Oh, he's still 100 feet back there. I'm like, the whole cab of the RZR's lit up.
Yeah, it feels like he's right on my bumper.
Right there.
Yeah.
And nobody's aiming those lights like according to highway standards. I mean,
They want the most light forward as they can get.
Yeah. So they're just up on you. It's like having somebody behind you with high beams on constantly.
Yeah, especially with the light bars and stuff. You're running a 30-inch light bar on there and stuff versus 2 little headlights or something, or a handful of cube lights and stuff. And then you can light up quite a bit depending on your light setup. So
Well, and you really get to need it, though, when you have a turbo machine. I mean, you can outrun your usable light if you're just running the headlights only.
That's what we were doing on the long straightaway through the pits. I just had them angled down because last year it was so dusty, where if you had them angled straight, as soon as you hit that dust, you were just like hitting a wall of light pretty much. And you were
It's like being in the snow and having your high beams on. It's just all back in your face.
And so we had it angled down because throughout the woods it helped a lot. But as we got past all the lights to the straightaway and that last little corner before you ducked in the woods, well, the only reason we could tell where the corner was because the cone had a little reflector on it, but you couldn't see that until
50
you're probably
or 100
feet from it or something like that, depending on how you were coming into it. So
I just had an idea. You've got those little pod brackets you made for the cage of a Razor that hold your little cube-shaped LED lights. You need one that's on a pivot. It's got a solenoid on it, so you flip a switch and it tilts them up. And
high beams and low beams.
There you go. That actually would be
turn
kind
with
of
the
cool.
steering wheel and everything.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, my wife had a car that did that.
Did she race it?
No,
Oh, what's wrong with her?
well, it was a electric car. Even it was a hybrid.
Oh,
It was
okay.
not fast.
Well, you're supposed to have all that torque off the line from the motor.
Dude, it was a Lincoln. It had like 3,000 pounds of sound deadening and insulation in it, and it was not fast.
All I hear is excuses for why you weren't taking that thing out rally crossing.
It was slow. And she would yell at me because I got it dirty.
You had a 2-liter 4-cylinder in there. Come on, man.
Yeah. It's dragging around a trunk full of batteries and everything.
It was nice. It was not something you were going to take out racing.
No, it
That's
was
for
not
sure.
quick.
So next year, I know you ran IXCR this year. Thinking about doing some more of the same, maybe Midwest side by side. It's gonna be an interesting year without GNCC around.
Well,
because
that's the thing. I was planning on this year. Last year, we ran with the Midwest Side by Side series throughout all their races and stuff. And then I was like, well, after into last year, I was talking to Devin Smith and Jason Dehart and a couple other guys, and they're, oh, you need to come out to the IXCR races and stuff. And then like, all right, I'll do that. And then so I was figuring, hit up the IXCR races and then try and hit any Midwest side by side races I can. And then after that, I'll jump into GNCC because that's a little bit bigger, more nationally recognized.
Well, it's a natural
circuit
step
and
of
stuff.
it.
And
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely.
now if they're not going to run, now
What do?
you don't go to it. And so I think a lot of people are going to go to the more of the IXCR races and stuff, but just to keep racing.
And I think we're pretty fortunate because Indiana has really become a hotbed for UTV racing. I mean,
Yeah.
there's several larger series. Midwest Side by Side is based more in Illinois, but that may even trickle over into Indiana if we have our way. So it's kind of fortunate to be where we are because even at MWXC, we've got racers coming from Iowa.
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming over. We went over to do a big, huge 4-hour race that had a ton of draw. It made sense. They're coming over to do just a 60-minute plus a lap and then pack it up and go home because they're like, man, it's awesome. We can race out here.
Yeah. Indiana has quite a few different series and stuff or just like the 4-wheel parts jamboree that's coming up that they're running in Indianapolis and stuff. And then
that's
you
just
really
a few
don't have
weeks
a lot
out.
of that, well, at least in Illinois and stuff outside of the Midwest Side-by-Side series that recently started up where the IXCR and Midwest cross-country series and stuff, they've been around for quite a while and stuff, racing dirt bikes and quads and stuff. And
Well, that's actually why I moved down. I mean, I lived on the north end of Indiana, but as we were talking about spinning up things with Eminent Performance and everything we had going on, I was spending unreal amounts of time driving down to the center of the state. So I thought if we're really going to give this thing a go, I'm not going to keep doing this.
Yeah. We talked about it. Doug and I talked about it before, but he would get done with a race weekend. He would try and get out of there Sunday because he'd work the race, and then you'd be in the truck until midnight, 1 in the morning.
Yeah, sometime between midnight and 1 in the morning, and then unhitch the trailer, back into where it's supposed to be, unhitch it, get the generator out of the bed, get the stuff that's stealable, stow it in the garage, go inside, try and decompress enough to go to sleep, maybe by 1:30 in the morning if I'm lucky, and then get up at 5 and go to work.
Yep.
And that schedule is getting really old. Now I'm close enough to a lot of the races. I can just go home and, it's 45 minutes. I'll just drive home
go
and sleep
take
in
a
my own
shower.
bed,
Yeah.
take a nice warm shower, go back the next morning. If I'm out of there at 7 o'clock on a, Sunday after I get everything put away, I'm home at maybe 8. It's awesome.
Kind of unwind for an hour or so before you go to bed, and then you're in bed by about a normal time.
But it's a good springboard too to be able to come out here and see you guys. And I mean, it's just really the center of Indiana is kind of the center of it all right now, and that's an exciting place to be.
At least for the cross country racing.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of short course stuff around here.
We could change that.
no, not yet. Forget the name of the track, but it's up there around Chicago. The Torque was running there at least once a year, so it was 2.5 hours from me, I think.
Yeah.
I think that was the closest one for the Torque race
And
series.
then Lucas Oil, they run what they call their Midwest short course series, short course series, but it's not really the Midwest to me. It's like Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan. I mean,
There's one up
That's
Missouri,
where all the
isn't there
tracks are, though.
somewhere?
You
I know.
can't
Yeah.
come and if you build one at your house, and they'll come run there.
You
So-
could build a short course. At your
I
place.
could. Yeah, I could.
Let's
There's
get the
actually
track back
room.
on the dozer, and that's a start.
Yeah. That dozer.
I mean, your yard ornament.
yeah, right now that dozer is a yard ornament. My wife is not thrilled that the dozer pitched a track in the backyard.
Funny story about that. Actually, you came here.
I came within just a few miles
Yeah.
of Kevin's place here to buy that dozer.
Totally
And
un-
I actually came twice because the first time I came, I had my diesel and a trailer, and the diesel, I forget what the part was. Some part went bad, and my dad had to come with his diesel truck to get me with the trailer, drug me back. We fixed the truck, and then like the next weekend, I came here again and actually got the dozer. It was exciting.
Always something.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I don't know. Do you have trivia?
I do.
Did you think that far ahead?
I have trivia.
All right,
Yeah.
buddy. You and me, head to head on trivia.
Yep. So the way this is going to work, you guys are going to both answer the questions, and
For imaginary internet points.
yeah, there's no actual gain to be had here.
This is why we named the podcast what we did.
Yeah.
Bragging rights on trivia.
Yeah, you can say you're smarter than Doug. So
That's nothing to hang your hat on, but
It'll probably be the opposite, but
wow. Out for blood.
10 questions. We'll have Kevin answer first, and then Doug. And the first two are from Fuzzy.
Oh, so you get some space trivia, I'm assuming.
do I get a phone a
I've got a
friend?
very unsettling feeling I know what this is about.
Oh, yeah? We'll see.
We'll find out.
Okay, you guys ready?
Sure.
All right. Question number 1. The logo/mission patches that are named after an astronaut, they are X patches, or what they're called. Who are they named after?
You get to go first.
Neil Armstrong, because that's the only space person I know.
I really legitimately don't know.
Take a stab. You have to guess. You can't always say, I don't know.
Well, I don't. Okay, Buzz Aldrin. I don't.
No, his name was Gordon Cooper.
Yep.
They're called Cooper
Oh, that
patches.
was my
Cooper
second
patches.
guess.
That
Oh,
was
yeah.
your second guess, right?
Dang it, always go with your gut.
Yeah. Okay, question number 2.
I'll call him tomorrow and ask him why. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, and this one, he put a little preface on it for you, Doug. Since he likes names of obscure things on Star Wars. This is talking about the Ewok question that he had for you a few times ago. Wicket, the name of the Ewok that did something. And
Every time I'm shamed publicly for my lack of knowledge, I remember it the next time. So maybe it's good.
I was going to just torture Fuzzy and say in Star Trek. Because he can't reply right away.
In Star Trek, the wizard Gandalf says...
I won't do that. Okay, so the question number 2. What was the name of the big asteroid worm that the Millennium Falcon landed in and flew out of in The Empire Strikes Back? He knows this. That's the sad thing. Fuzzy knows these like off the top of
What's
his
his
head.
name?
These are the people I hang with.
Yeah, the name of the worm thing.
We'll just go with Fuzzy.
Giant worm thing. It actually has a name.
It has a name.
I'm going to know it when I hear it. It's not there.
Okay. Exogorth.
Okay, never mind.
Didn't know it?
I did not. That was not at all what I was thinking.
No imaginary internet points.
Exogorth. Because that was referenced in the movie.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Next one.
So there's that.
Question number 3. Alligators in Louisiana. This is near your home state. It's the opposite. It's the wrong way.
I was going to say,
Kevin
wait a
looked at
minute.
me. Kevin looked at me like
He
I was
almost
nuts.
hit you with that microphone.
Doug, this is kind of like because you're going down
Because this is
south.
where I'm going.
Yeah, here in a few.
Hey, Shane, I'm going to do a
Couple
call in right now.
No.
No.
Alligators in Louisiana have learned to bait egret and heron, the birds. How do they do it? How do they bait these birds?
Dead fish, I'm assuming.
I'm going to say dead fish, but specifically they just sit. I'm assuming they sit there with their mouth open and food on their mouth because they're hypersensitive. Like as soon as something lands, they just...
No.
No?
They balance a stick on their nose, and these birds are looking for these sticks to build nests out of.
Oh, that's even more clever.
And when they go to grab that, they just grab the bird.
I like that.
These alligators are getting smart. Doug, you might get eaten by an alligator.
Don't be grabbing
I'm willing to
sticks,
give
like-
anything a try once.
Yeah, leave those sticks alone.
Well, you seen those people that they do the head challenge and put their head in there and I
just
love
seems
the
right.
ones where they just like, because their mouths close almost instantly. It's
Yep.
like a mousetrap. You just see it. Like, I love those
Snap
videos.
right on them.
Because if you're that dumb,
You
That's
kind
what
of deserve that.
you were asking
Natural
for it.
selection is what
Exactly.
we call it.
Why do we save these people? They're just in the gene pool longer.
Okay. Question number 4. I have to read through these because I actually made this trivia a week ago and I don't remember the questions that I did. So, in 1945, a B-25 bomber crashed into the Empire State Building's elevator shaft, snapping the cable. What saved the lone occupant in the elevator? He lived. He was beat up, but he lived.
The safety stop mechanism at the bottom.
I don't think they had safety stuff in 45. But
Sure,
we'll go with
this
that.
is
I'm sure
when
they did.
OSHA was
Oh,
still trying to
new.
figure out stuff in Europe before they came over here.
Okay.
The propeller wedged itself in the shaft and stopped it from falling.
No, the 1,000 feet of cable that fell piled up and acted like a big spring and cushion,
I was
and it kind of
close, see?
bounced the elevator off the bottom.
I don't think the cable falling to the bottom of the shaft qualifies as
It's
a
a
safety.
safety feature.
It was still a spring, he called it.
I was going to make up something really crazy, but
That's a half a
that's
point,
crazy
I think.
enough.
There
A
was
quarter of a
spring above
point.
it.
Wow. We're getting really
We're
specific
shaving
now.
them points down.
Yes, we
thin.
are.
Okay. Question number 5. Men will wait an average of 11 days to hear back from a love interest before calling it quits. How long will a woman wait? This could get us all in trouble.
We'll give it 10 hours.
11 minutes.
7 days.
7 days.
Yeah, I would
They
have never
don't,
guessed
they
that
don't know
long.
most of the women that I've been around.
No.
Why didn't you text me
As soon
back?
as you
Yeah.
shut the car door, why didn't you text me?
Yeah. Why haven't you texted me? What are you doing? Well, I'm driving. Why are you texting and driving? Because you're yelling at me. That's kind of what happens. Okay. Question number 6. What is the smelliest substance on Earth?
Oh, I got this one.
Whatever that stuff is that we pulled out of the power plant. All the sludge.
Teenage boys.
No, that's probably the smelliest organism,
Oh,
but not
whatever they
substance.
secrete.
Yes.
The smelliest
no.
substance?
Yes.
How do you quantify that?
You'll find out because I have a reasoning for it here.
You never do, so I'm
No.
kind of happy now.
Thioacetone is what it's called. So the reason they know it's this, a lab worker dropped a vial of it, like a little tiny bottle that's, an inch or two tall, and it instantly induced vomiting in buildings a half a mile away. That's how
impressive.
bad it is.
I think
That's like those little stink bomb canister things you can get and break them.
Yeah.
Forget what they're actually in it or whatever, but
I don't think it's that stuff.
I don't think it is, but it stinks.
I want
It
some.
stinks
I
bad.
want some of that in one of those though. Just like casually throw one in.
Well,
Be in a car and drive by and throw
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
I know somebody who stunk up a barracks room with this, and so they casually put it under their roommate's bed, thinking when they went to lay down that night it would break, but it instantly broke when they put the bed back under it. Luckily, this person was leaving right away.
Yeah.
So could we take a vial of this and put it on the back bumper when we're racing? Like, go ahead, bump me.
Yeah. The smell, I think, would still be there when you made your next lap.
Maybe,
You'd
but it'd
start
be really.
vomiting.
But just think
Why is
about how
everyone
funny it would
piled
be.
up in the next corner over
They're
here?
all throwing up over there.
Think about how hilarious it would be to have somebody just cruise in and ram your back bumper, and all of a sudden they back off, and you just see them spewing everywhere. Trivia gone wrong.
Where do I find this stuff is the real question.
You're the only person in the world who would find this stuff. This is why I rely on you for trivia that I don't need.
Okay. Question number 7. This is one you guys may actually get. Angel Falls is the highest waterfall in the world. What country is it located in? I'm not going to give it to you.
We'll
You got to
go,
guess.
Canada.
India,
Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Yeah.
Really? How tall are the falls?
I don't remember.
Oh, come on, man. You can't just throw that question out there.
I can and I did.
All
Use the
right.
Googles when we get some internets.
Well, that'll be a ways.
Yep. Okay, question number 8. How long does it take the moon to revolve around the Earth to the nearest day, to the nearest full day?
14 days.
28.
27 days.
28.
27 days.
28.
You overbid. I got the better on that one.
Yeah, you were the closest without being over.
Without being
the price
over.
is right. All right, you get your other quarter of an imaginary point. Now you have half.
Half of an internet point. I don't think you've gotten any right. Have you yet?
Whatever. Move along.
Question number 9. The traditional chef's hat, you know, the big white tall ones, has 100 pleats in it, which symbolizes the number of what?
Has how many? What did you say?
It has 100 pleats, like 100 little folds in it all the way around. What does the 100 little folds symbolizes?
Why does everything symbolize something?
I don't know.
How many times you should eat in a day?
How many times does an apprentice that got hit with a wooden spoon for doing something stupid?
No. The number of ways to cook an egg.
I like my answer better.
No. I don't think you should hit the apprentices.
What? Haven't you ever seen like Hell's Kitchen and all that? Come on.
He just cusses at them.
On camera.
Well, true. There could be abuse. Okay, question number 10. Last one. Which rap star was born with his name as Cordozar Calvin Bodius Jr.?
We'll go with Jay-Z.
No, it's Sean
No, it's
Holmes or something like that.
No,
That's Puffy.
yeah.
Easy E.
Snoop Dogg.
Oh, wow. Big guy. He's got kind of have a rep in the... I've heard of him.
Cordozar Calvin Brodius Jr.
Junior. Does he have any kids?
I don't know. I'm
Is
sure
there a
he does.
third running around?
I don't know.
With a name like that, you got to keep passing that on.
So Kevin wins with a total of like a half an internet point.
Internet point. Yay!
Yes.
I haven't done trivia for how many weeks? I'm getting rusty.
Yeah.
Okay, we do have a stupid stuff with Chad, and this one actually is going to be
Which one?
a visual treat for anybody watching.
Oh, yes.
Chad's going to show a smiley face or part of one. Take it away.
Is this the one at my house? Yeah, with the video clip?
Yeah, no, this is where you try to make a smiley face on yourself.
Oh, that one.
That one.
Okay. Well,
That's a good one for since we're burning up in the barn here.
we'll have to take a picture of it to get like a close up of it
Yes.
because I could show you now, but because of the webcam, you
This
wouldn't
is
really see
one
it.
of my favorite ones, not because it's a long story, but just because it'll fit nicely in the podcast time-wise and because it really gives you insight into Chad 15 years ago.
Yeah.
20, whatever.
Whatever it was.
We've known each other way too long.
I probably started in this 20 years ago. Right at. Anyway, I've since stopped.
Right when I entered.
So I was a bit of a wild person, I will say.
Tiny bit.
Yeah. When I was younger. And for some reason, I decided I wanted to burn a smiley face into my arm.
Why wouldn't you?
Because why not? It seemed brilliant.
Because you're such a happy person. You want to let everybody know.
Very true. So the best way I smoked at the time, so I just decided I'll start putting cigarettes out on my arm. And I did. The problem is the scars would heal over. So I found if you just take after it, like melts your skin there, if you just take a Stanley knife, you can cut that scar off and it scars much better. So Doug is inserting the picture here of my arm
Why wouldn't you do this to yourself?
because it seems brilliant. I don't know. I was dumber then.
And the best part is, you don't even have the full
I never
smiley face.
finished
Like,
the
you didn't
mouth.
even finish it.
I didn't finish the mouth. So I
So-
got like 3 dots on my arm and it looks
I just
odd
tell
and
people you
whatever.
really like bowling. You
Yeah.
know, the 3 dots there.
My finger and thumb hole and whatnot. So yeah. Pain is something I can compartmentalize. I'd look
So can
people's-
I drive all over with you.
Yeah. You know, I'd
And I
look
smile
people
about it.
I'm
straight in the
assuming
eye.
he was around 18 at this time.
Oh, I did it. It took, I don't know, 3 or 4 years I did it. Like, it wasn't a one-time
Yeah,
thing.
this was You're processing that like, oh, this is a stupid moment in
this
time.
is the weekend party or
Oh,
something.
no. This
No.
went on for like a few years.
This
to
is
do
a stupid period of time that extends over years. That makes the story that much better.
16 to 20, then I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're like a paragon of virtue now by comparison.
Yeah. Well, something like that.
So anyways, we want to say a huge thank you to our sponsors. I almost can't get through this after your story.
I'm sorry. It's there.
Yeah. So anyways, Watch Communications, I'm sorry, but thank you for hosting the podcast and the website.
Thanks for sticking with us, guys.
We really, really super appreciate it. We can't even tell you enough. And we've also got UTV Engineering, UTV-doors.com, TGM Off-Road, CW Motorsports, Harrison Power Sports, and of course, we are here live at Spangs Fab, and we can't tell you enough how much your support means. I mean,
Yep.
you've been not just the help you've given us with parts that we absolutely love. They've made the machine, that much better, but you've also been just really helpful in getting the word out about us and advertising, and you've been a very valuable partners, and you're letting us come here and sit in your barn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I like what you guys do and stuff, and want to keep supporting you guys on everything, and just like having somebody who actually talks about stuff that I'm interested in and stuff, and listen to you guys every week. So there's a bunch of people that like it also. So I like to support people that have same interests, I guess. And
And like we always like to say, we weren't the best at this. We were just the first to the table.
Yeah.
So, y'all are too late.
That makes us the best and the worst.
Exactly. All at the same time. Don't try and copy the format. You will hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Badly. Probably mentally. You can find us on the web at our website, eminentperformance.com. You can find us also on Instagram at Eminent Racing, on Facebook /Eminent Racing, and you can find this lovely podcast on our YouTube channel. Just look for Eminent Performance. You can also find it on Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio.
Yep. You got them all.
And look, and I don't have internet access. I don't have a list in front of me or nothing.
It's almost like you've memorized it because we've done this 47 other times.
Something like that. And there's so many more to come. We've already planned out 2019. So if you had any illusions about being rid of us,
Suckers.
sorry. There's so much more to come. And no matter how you've mutilated yourself, thanks for riding along with us.
Thanks, guys.
thanks.
Tired of going down, tired of myself, tired of this town.